Hello everyone, welcome to Resonant News. What if we told you that India is working with Russia for a quad equivalent with countries in Southeast Asia? What if we told you that India has an artic policy? Many call it a game changer for both India and Russia. You heard that right. In this video, we'll be covering 3 important strategies which have brought India and Russia closer. But before we proceed further, do not forget to subscribe to our channel, and if you enjoy watching our content, please do share it with others and give us your feedback in the comment section. So let us start with India's Arctic dream and then we'll move to Russia. After all, Russia बीच में ही पड़ता है. Some might like this news and some might criticize India for literally expanding its horizon to the Arctic. But the fact remains that India has finally unveiled a new draft Arctic policy in January 2021, which says it is committed to expanding scientific research, sustainable tourism, mineral oil and gas exploration in Arctic region. The Goa-based National Center for Polar and Ocean Research will apparently lead the scientific research. Experts say that there are 3 reasons why India has shown interest in Arctic region. Number 1. India is an emerging power with formidable military and economic power, and its energy needs are growing with each passing day. Time has come that it makes a global presence, including in unexplored regions like Arctic. Number 2. China. China has already reached the Arctic. India doesn't want to lose its opportunities to its neighbors. China is becoming increasingly assertive in the Arctic in terms of infrastructure development, shipping, energy, and resource investment projects, and even in decision-making bodies like the Arctic Council, which definitely hasn't gone down well with Russia and India. China also dreams of a polar Silk Route. Number 3. Another genuine reason is, in India's Arctic policy, it has used science to reach the Arctic. Scientific community asserts a link between Arctic climatic conditions and the monsoons. And monsoon is the lifeline of agriculture in Indian subcontinent, supporting the livelihood of millions. India calls Himalayas as the third pole. Arctic research will help India's scientific community to study the melting rate of third pole, the Himalayan glaciers, which has the largest freshwater reserves in the world outside the geographic poles. So by now we all agree that India is right in having an Arctic policy. Great. India is keen to make heavy investments in Arctic, particularly in exploration of Russian oil and gas, other than the rare earth minerals in the near future. But for this, it will need strategic security backing to safeguard India's investments in the Arctic. At present, India does not maintain any port facility, naval base in this region. So what option does India have now? India is now working on signing RELAWS. What is RELAWS? RELAWS is Reciprocal Exchange of Logistic Agreement, which would enable militaries of both the countries to access logistics and support facilities at each other's bases and ports. When Putin was in India in December 2021, there was a lot of brainstorming done on RELAWS, and this is being worked upon as we speak. Look at the number of ports India can access in northern Russia. This is huge. Till now, in India-Russia relationship, Russia appeared to be the dominant one, but things are slowly changing. Till now, both the countries had a two-way trade which languished at just $10 to $11 billion. Problem was the long trade routes which existed between Mumbai and Russian port of St. Petersburg on the Baltic Sea. The journey for a cargo ship took about 40 days. So the solution came in the form of a shipping link which would enable transfer of cargo between Chennai and Vladivostok in just 24 days, which is half of what it takes presently. Ports like Kolkata and other ports on India's eastern part would also benefit out of this corridor. But what does India get by investing in RFE, or Russia's Far East? RFE forms a third of Russia's territory. It is least populated and the least developed too. But it is rich in minerals and hydrocarbon. India and Russia aim to increase their bilateral trade to about $30 billion by 2025. And both the parties had signed MOUs in 2019 in sectors like mining, oil, gas, diamond, and developed a 5-year roadmap on hydrocarbon cooperation. So in next 5 years, we'll see a huge amount of change. Russia has offered Indians a free visa entry into Vladivostok. India's investment in Russia now amounts to $15 billion in oil and gas alone. India is keen to explore the new sea route to source crude oil and LNG through Russia's Arctic, which would cost it much lesser price and will help diversify its import. So if due to some reason there's a blockade in transportation in Middle East, India would remain unaffected. Indian companies are already present in region in sectors including coal, diamond, tea and oil and gas. So do we have a Quad in the making in Southeast Asia? An ocean liner traveling from Chennai to Vladivostok would have to sail through Singapore, Philippines, Taiwan, Korea and Japan. This proposed maritime will become a corridor which can then be called Indian Ocean Corridor amid Beijing's orbit of its MSR, which is China's ambitious maritime Silk Route. And this would connect entire Southeast Asia through road, shipping and rail links. Let me repeat, this could be transformed into a corridor increasing India's presence in South China Sea. In one of our earlier videos on Indo-Arab Mediterranean Corridor, we had told you how economic corridors are intermingled with defense and agriculture. Many might think that US's strong relationships with Southeast Asian countries would be a hurdle, but that's not so. Russia has already offered Japan to invest in RFE and allowed it a Trans-Siberian Railroad, which offers Japan a trade route 2 times faster than sea. Meanwhile, in Korea, it has signed a bilateral defense agreement and agreed for a visa-free entry for Koreans. India already enjoys a very cozy relationship with both Japan and South Korea. As far as Philippines is concerned, the fact that both India and Russia have decided to sell BrahMos to Philippines proves that this is a new trustworthy partner they have found in SES. Indian Prime Minister was right in calling Vladivostok a true Sangam or union of ports for the region, as it will bring huge profits to the countries involved. As early as 2019, PM Modi had extended $1 billion line of credit for the Russian Far East, where strategic rival China has made inroads in recent years. This is a very far-sighted strategic move. But everything has its pros and cons. The biggest challenge here is, though the investments have begun and things have started to move already, Russia still faces many sanctions and India doesn't want to make dead investments in Russia like it made in Afghanistan. Another one is Russia's crude oil is heavier with large quantities of sulfur and old refineries are not good enough to refine them. Only 5 out of India's 18 public sector refineries are on the eastern coast, so we have to proceed cautiously. China recently made it to the Arctic Council, but India is not far away. India too gained an observer status in the Arctic Council. India's footprint has increased and now it has reached Arctic, believe it or not. It has now begun to invest in bigger nations like Russia instead of inviting investors to invest in India. And finally, India and Russia are working on a corridor which we will see unfolding in front of our eyes in next 5 years.